Yes, guys, what's going on? So, welcome to the show, Be Real TV. Hope everyone's okay. Look, right. So, we're gonna talk about Wladimir Klitschko and Tyson Fury. Now, I don't want to appear because I think like sometimes when you're on camera, you tend to come across in a certain way which you're actually not. And the thing is, right, I wanted to talk about Tyson Fury and Wladimir Klitschko, but I want to set the scene a little bit about the first fight and what happened in the first fight, and and moving forward. I'm not gonna spend too long. And look, I picked Tyson Fury to win in the first fight. I don't want to go like hardcore predictions and stuff, right? Because the truth of the matter is, I've got some predictions wrong, but I think on a whole, I've got most of my predictions right. I mean, if you go back and you look at my videos and and on my Twitter, and look at who I've predicted to win, usually in them fights, that fight has won. But obviously, I've had the odd prediction where I've got it wrong. But the thing is, in this Tyson Fury versus Wladimir Klitschko fight, it's a bit sad that most people picked Wladimir to win. And I'll tell you the reason why. Is because it wasn't so much that if one person picked him to win, it was that so many people had Wladimir Klitschko winning this fight. And nobody gave Fury a shot. And that's a bit sad because Fury is definitely an expert boxer. I mean, if you look at the fight between Chisora and Fury, and then you look at fights like David Haye and Wladimir, we can see that Wladimir, he dominated David Haye, but you see, the way Tyson shut out Chisora, and David Haye is obviously a better fighter than Chisora, but the way Fury did it was exceptional, and you could see leading up to the fight that Tyson Fury, he had the head movement, he had the footwork, he had the boxing IQ in his brain. When you talk to him about boxing, he knows what he's talking about, and he's shown that he's a special kind of a person, but I really don't think that people give Tyson Fury any credit in that regard. Now look, and in the previous video, I said Tyson Fury is stronger than Anthony Joshua. Let me tell you what I mean by that. I said that in a powerlifting contest, right, if you put the two side by side, right, and you had the two of them lifting weights or whatever, Tyson Fury, right, people don't understand this because they've not seen them two face to face. If you look at Tyson Fury, he's quite a bit taller than Anthony Joshua. He's got a wider natural frame than Anthony Joshua. Same with Wladimir Klitschko. Klitschko isn't a naturally big guy. You look at him against all the heavyweights and he looks huge. But in reality, compared to Tyson Fury, none of these heavyweights are actually that big. Fury actually is bigger than them all naturally. He's got a naturally bigger frame. And my point that I was making wasn't so much that this guy lifted him. The point I was making is that naturally, if they don't do no weights, Fury is by far the strongest and biggest guy out of the bunch. You see? So natural power, in my opinion, trumps any sort of weightlifting power that you can get. With weightlifting, you can build core strength and you can do so much with it. But at the end of the day, your natural strength is what, is natural strength. And I really think that you can build, but to an extent. To an extent. But look, forget that. Look, with this fight, right, between Klitschko and Fury in the rematch, I want to talk a little bit about this press conference and the psychology of boxing, and talk about how Fury's going to be feeling, how Wladimir's going to be feeling. Look, Fury is genuinely a very deep person. Speaking to him off camera, on camera, and speaking to the whole Fury camp over time, and meeting Fury outside of interviews. There's a few, because I'm not going to pretend like he's my best mate or something, right? But the truth is, with Fury, he was a very standout character to me because off camera, he's a very humble, he's the type of guy, it's a bit weird, right, is this, but he's like quiet and he'd be like, yeah, and he just listens to like what he's told. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, I'm not saying he's a guy who gets pulled on strings. What I'm saying is that he's like, if you speak to a fighter, right, and you say, do you mind if I get an interview with you, right, or do you wanna do it over there, or some people be like, nah, just do it over, and they'll just like, they'll control it. Fury's not like, Fury's like, yeah, cool, yeah, whatever you want, like, let's do it, you right? And a few fighters are like that, and it's a really nice thing to have, is that. And Tyson Fury, off camera, he's a really good person, and that's why I back Tyson, because he's a nice person off camera. He can say what he wants on Twitter and whatnot, right, and social media, but in real life, he's a nice guy, and he's a good-hearted person, and for me, I think that Tyson Fury is mentally stronger, more switched on, and he's not an idiot the way he can make out sometimes. Wladimir Klitschko is the type of a person who, and I'm going to say it like it is, a lot of people are like this, right? That they appear good and they appear humble. See, I could come on this camera and appear very humble and come across in a certain way, but that doesn't mean that that's who I actually am. The way I'm speaking right now isn't actually the way I am day to day. You guys don't know me. Okay, you guys don't know me inside. And that's the thing, right? With everybody, right? When you go on a first date with somebody, you're not actually going on a date with them. You're actually going on a date with their representative. So that's what it is. It is what it is. You go into a job interview, you're not meeting that person, you're meeting that person's representative. On a day-to-day basis, you have a personality for such situation, you have a personality for another situation. And the truth of the matter is, in my opinion, this is my opinion, Wladimir Klitschko is one of those guys who appears good for the cameras, who appears to be a role model. But if you were to look at hearts, who has a better heart? And I'm no one to judge, I'm not God, right? But if you were to put hearts together, I think someone like Tyson Fury has a really good heart, because you see little segments of things he says and things he does, which make me think to myself, like, that's pretty. I mean, I was watching. Shout out to IFL TV and Kugan Cassius, right, for capturing this. But I was watching it, and Tyson Fury was like, "Look, I don't want to make the fans wait," and that's the way he genuinely is. And I think that's something to be admired. And I'm not gonna stop at this. I'm gonna say it like it is. And looking at Wladimir Klitschko, right. He made some comments about Tyson Fury in the press conference, talking about Tyson Fury's comments against gay people, and saying and talking about women and things like that, and saying fuck off. Basically, he just judged Tyson Fury based upon what he said in public. Okay, now Tyson Fury's real opinion, deeper opinion, it could be something to that extent. Or it could be different. But Wladimir Klitschko seems to have taken this to heart and saying that, oh, you're no one to represent the sport. And you could definitely tell that Tyson Fury whooping him the first time has had a significant impact on him mentally and emotionally. When you lose a fight, especially after that long, Wladimir Klitschko, he must have felt like he's indestructible. He's changed his style, and he's been winning for so many years. And to lose, he's now doubting himself. You could put on everything he wants in front of the camera, but he's definitely doubting himself. As he's going into this fight against Tyson Fury, he's definitely going to have significant doubts in his mind. He's going to be struggling to comprehend and understand what happened the first time, and he's going to be going over it, and he's going to think, I'm going to do this the next time. But the truth of the matter is this, right? When Wladimir Klitschko goes into this fight, he can do one out of two things. He can box smart, or he can go for broke. If he goes for broke, you're going to see Wladimir Klitschko in heavyweight boxing, he's going to have to reach. Because if you can't land the jab in boxing, jab's here. Left hand here, if you can't land this punch, because this punch only has ear to ear to travel, right? If you cannot land that, right, from this distance to this distance, and it's quick, right? And you can feint, and you can do so much, right? If you can't land a jab, how are you going to land the right hand all the way across here? How are you going to move? How are you going to land this punch, which is coming from the back? It's got this extra distance travel here, and then there. And then the thing is that your opponent can see it coming more easier. How can you do that? Right? So what happens is when you go from here to here and you start reaching out for your opponent, instead of just measuring the range, once you start clipping them with the jab and you've got your range, and once you start clipping them nicely with the jab and that jab's landing, then you go 1-2. Fundamentals of boxing, very basic, right? If Wladimir Klitschko can't land the jab in the first fight, how is he going to land the second punch, which is the right hand? And if you can't land the right hand, how are you going to land the left hook? If you can't land the left hook, how are you going to land the right uppercut or the right hand? Or none of these punches will land if you can't land the fundamental punch, which is the jab. And Wladimir Klitschko couldn't land a jab in the first fight. So for me, I really don't see how Wladimir Klitschko wins this fight, because if he starts going for a knockout, all Fury's going to do, I'll tell you what Fury's going to do in this fight. Fury's going to do nothing else but box in the back foot. Fury is an expert boxer, he can talk about knockouts and all this and that. What Fury's going to do, Tyson Fury, he's going to go into the fight, he's going to dance, he's going to do his thing, he's going to go like this, he's going to go like this, he's going to switch southpaw, he's going to put his head forward like this, right? He's going to control the range, he's going to keep his footwork, and he's going to throw a few jabs, and later on in the fight, he's going to press. It's going to be the same thing as we saw in the first fight. I don't think it's going to be too different than Wladimir Klitschko. From Fury. But with Wladimir Klitschko, if he comes forward, tries going for the knockout, he'll get himself knocked out, because he's going to reach. Tyson Fury's going to be like this, he's going to move back, and he's just going to clip him and counterpunch him. And everybody knows that in boxing, counterpunching is what is the easiest way to cause a knockout. You could be an aggressive fighter, but it's not the punch that you see coming, which is hard, that knocks you out. It's the punch you don't see coming. It's the shocking punch, the flush knockdowns, bang, across you, hits across your chin. And for those of you who haven't been in the ring, I'll explain this to you. The main reason is behind this, and not a lot of people talk about this because it's not something that goes through your mind. When you see a punch coming, you actually bite onto your gum shield. When you bite onto your gum shield and you get punched, there's less chance of your jaw snapping this way and your head rattling, brain hitting your skull and all sorts of that, and all the connection going from your brain to your legs and knockout, right? Less chance of that happening because your teeth are clenched. When you're fighting, if you throw a punch, right, and you miss, and the other person's over here, and they rock you on your jaw from here on an angle, and because you go like that, right? You breathe out when you punch, okay? As soon as you breathe out when you punch, and you throw that punch, you miss, and you get counter punched, it's a short little snappy little punch which goes crack on your chin, and that little punch it can hit here, can hit here, can hit here. But if you're not bracing for it, you're not ready for it, and you don't get time to brace your gum shield, right? Put your hands up and ride with it or whatever it is, right? Bang, rattle, knockout. See what I mean? So this is what I think could happen to Wladimir Klitschko, because if he's reaching for it and he's going to be more aggressive in the first fight, you don't go looking for a knockout. In fact, if you look for a knockout, you get knocked out. Okay? There's every chance in the book that... Look, what I think, right, let me just rewind this back a little bit. As Wladimir Klitschko is going into his fight against Tyson Fury, okay, he needs to be more active. Okay? The reason he didn't throw any punches in the first fight is because he couldn't. If you can't land the jab, how are you going to land another punch? That's the thing. Okay? Fury had complete range control. Because Wladimir Klitschko, let me tell you what he doesn't know how to do. Wladimir Klitschko does not know how to beat a fighter with better range than him. With a better reach than him. As soon as he's gone into someone who's got a longer reach, who's taller, elusive, he doesn't know how to deal with it. That's the truth. And he's not an aggressive fighter, is Wladimir. Wladimir is not a very aggressive fighter. He likes to sometimes come in, left hook, right hand, whatever he does, I don't know, man. Wladimir Klitschko has a lot of tools, but the thing is that he's not brought it to light in the first Fury fight, and I don't think he's gonna bring it to light in the second Fury fight. I think that Tyson Fury's got a very good point that it's very difficult for a leopard to change its spots at this late in their career. I mean, how is Wladimir gonna alter his style that drastically? And he might come out and change his style drastically and come for the fight. And I think personally what I would do if I was in Vlad's corner, what I would tell Vlad to do, which I'm not obviously in his corner, but what I would tell Vlad to do is, Wladimir, go out, establish your jab, be more active with the jab, even if it doesn't land, throw the jab, right? And you're going to have to, and as soon as the jab starts landing, you're going to have to throw that right hand. Wladimir Klitschko is going to have to go to the body with the jab. It's heavyweight boxing, and Ali never used to throw a jab to the body. Why? Because you're more open to a counter punch. That's why Cassius Clay, aka Muhammad Ali, hardly ever used to go to the body, because when you duck low, right, you can get hit from up at an angle here. Because it's easy to just go bang, counter you coming in. Because to hit a jab at the body, right, you have to lower your level and then throw the jab to the body. You know what I mean? Whereas if you're here, you can just kind of like, bam, just throw the jab there. You can kind of just like, there's different variations of a jab here. You know, you don't have to lower your level and hit there. You can lower your level and then come up at the top maybe, and you can, it helps. But that's the other thing, right? When you throw to the body, what it allows you to do when hitting to the body is keep your opponent guessing, is it coming at top or is it coming at bottom? And if Wladimir Klitschko starts dropping levels and fighting Fury, and I think this is what I would advise Klitschko too, because he's got to do something different. And if he's going to be the aggressor, he's got to attack Tyson Fury's body, because at the end of the day, when you're attacking the body, if you keep hitting that bang bang, you keep getting on the inside, bam, bam, which is going to be very difficult for him to do, right? But if it's easy to talk about this, but getting on the inside against Tyson Fury's body is going to be hard. But if he tries to get on the inside, bang, bang, and fight a very aggressive fight, which is not Klitschko style. Klitschko, what does he do? He likes to fight like this, right? He likes to just throw the jab, control his opponent, right? Control it, and bang, jab, and that's literally bang, bang. That's Klitschko. I can't see how Klitschko's gonna all of a sudden become a fighter who likes to come on the inside and bang, bang, dig to the body. But that's what he needs to do. That's what he needs to do. Because if he starts attacking the body against Fury, which he's not going to do, and he's not got the style to do it, which is the truth. But if he does, and he starts jabbing to the body, starts to be a lot more different, throwing combination punches, then Fury's going to be guessing, like, is it coming to the head? Is it coming to the body? And that one could be, he could pretend to come for it to come a right hand to the body or a jab to the body, and next thing you know, bang, bang to the head. And you know, because you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Like, I mean, in terms of punches, you got 1, 2, you got your left and your right. It can either go to the body or it can go to the head, okay? And then you've got the hooks and the uppercuts and all that. But look, you've got 2 hands, right? Whether it swings this way, this way. You've got 2 places down there, whether it's at the body or at the head, okay? If you think it's going to come to the body, you misjudge it and it comes to the head. Bang, that's a knockout. That is the way Tyson used to score knockouts. Klitschko needs to do something. If he's going to knock out Tyson Fury, this is what he's got to do. He's got to change it up totally, but he's not going to do it, in my opinion. Comment section below, subscribe as always.